At all levels, societies must be persuaded to value and respect their girls and women. As women and girls, we have the fundamental right to make our own choices, including whether to marry, when, and to whom. We must support efforts to delay marriage so girls can finish school. All girls need an education. They need health care, including reproductive health care and information. Both married and unmarried girls must be empowered to contribute to their communities so they can help break the cycle of poverty. More than half of the people on earth are females. No nation in the 21st century can afford to waste such a valuable human resource.
আমার নাম ফুলেসা আমি ক্লাস 3 তে পড়ি
I married when I was 12 years old, and I had a baby 2 years later. I had a lot of problems because I was very young. I did not want to get married. I was 13. When someone came to my father and proposed, he accepted right away. I escaped from my husband's house many times, until finally, at 15, I settled down.
I was promised to a man before I was 10. It was a traditional wedding. When the time came, I was just handed over to my husband's family. And when I saw him, I realized he was older than my daddy.
What did you dream for yourself instead of this?
This bride is 16. She was betrothed when she was just 9. Now she must keep the bargain her parents struck. Throughout the world, millions of girls marry at a tender age, long before they are physically and mentally ready, and often against their will. Child marriage is a deeply entrenched tradition among many countries and cultures. The common denominators are poverty and gender discrimination.
আমার নাম জাকিয়া আমার 12 বছর বিয়ে হইছে
I am Zakia. I married when I was 12 and had my baby 2 years later. I wanted to go to school, but my parents couldn't afford it. Instead, I had to work as a housemaid. Finally, my parents urged me to marry. I didn't want to, but I couldn't refuse them.
There are many reasons for child marriage. Ties between families and villages are strengthened by arranged marriage, and girls are a convenient barter. Parents also want to secure their daughter's future socially and financially. Yet, when a girl is valued only as a potential mother and caretaker, there is little desire to invest more in her future.
In Bangladesh,
Nazreen Haq is a women's rights activist who understands the hard truth of this discrimination.
girls grow up knowing that they are entitled to less, and that is accepted. And sometimes girls will say, well, I don't want my education at the cost of my brother's education. So there is a very cruel aspect of poverty, that you are having to make choices with very little resources.
The consequences of child marriage are seldom understood until it's too late.
My baby's birth was very hard and it tore my vagina. I had many problems. Because I finally saw a doctor at the clinic, I am a little better now, but it still hurts a lot and I feel very weak.
Having a child too early isn't good. It's hard to lead a normal life. It's caused many problems within our family. It was a mistake for me to marry such a young girl.
Fatimata in rural Burkina Faso left her family and village to marry at 14. She's already pregnant with her second child. Still, she is subordinate to her husband's first wife and his family.
I was already engaged by the age of 8. My dad told me I had nothing to do with it, that it depended on my village elders. When I finished primary school, they were afraid I might refuse the marriage if I received more education. So I had to stop going to school altogether.
Without education, a girl is hurt both financially and intellectually. When early marriage is her only option, she is isolated, powerless, and abandoned. Because creating change for girls is a difficult and long-term effort, UNFPA works with committed partners like the Population Council in Burkina Faso.
People want to guarantee brides to their brother or son. So it is difficult to talk about rights with these families, who have been living with the practices for years.
Husbands tend to be older, sexually experienced, and are the source of rampant rates of HIV/AIDS among married girls. With little or no reproductive choice, child brides and their babies are at much higher risk of death from many causes. After 6 days of hard labor, Amzetu, just 13, suffered a stillbirth. She was left with a painful fistula that causes her to leak urine uncontrollably. Her mother now regrets encouraging her daughter's marriage.
I also married young and had many children. I didn't understand this could happen to my daughter. Now that we know, we don't want to let this ever happen again.
Yemen, like other countries where child marriage occurs, is dominated by strong influences. The United Nations Population Fund must work on many levels to break the cycle. Partnerships with governments and social and religious leaders are critical to UNFPA's success.
بحار الشهوات وفيضانها الآن مع وجود مغريات الشهوة.
We have two kinds of marriage. The first is to get married before being an adult, and this is against the religion. The second is to marry after adulthood, and this is a good thing. I hope all Muslim scholars speak against child marriages. They have to educate parents, especially fathers, on the danger of child marriage.
Social programs like the UNFPA-funded Girl Guides help to influence young people and, through them, their families and friends. Here, girls participate in well-rounded activities, including sports, arts and crafts, as well as discussions about reproductive health and other social issues that impact them directly. 15-year-old Safa has been a Girl Guide for 5 years. She has been able to learn about and openly discuss issues like marriage and education.
I believe when you learn, you'll reach your dreams. But when you marry too young, you lose the chance to achieve your dreams.
Today, Safa is confident and eager to share her knowledge of the consequences of child marriage with her peers. As developing nations confront this issue, continued support is vital on many levels.
What we need partners and donors to know is that early marriage continues to be a problem for many countries and for many young women. We therefore want donors and partners to continue to put early marriage on the agenda in the policy dialogue, and we want them to put financial support into interventions and the family.
Change comes neither quickly nor easily. But UNFPA programs on the ground will continue to build support, to empower, to bridge differences, and create change so that every girl in every country has the worth that is her birthright.
I always dreamed to have a man of my choice, that I love and who loves me. When we love each other, life can be happy.
I dream to be a famous poet.
When I grow up, I won't get married before the right age. I shall pass my exams first, then I'll marry.
I want to be a lawyer, the most famous in all of Yemen. I dream to do something really good for others. I want to contribute something to my country, even the world. So when I'm no longer here, people will remember me.
We hope that when others see this, they'll understand the problem better and help save our younger sisters.